Big Ten softball is on the air from Bowlin Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. It's a Sunday matinee between the Minnesota Golden Gophers and the 21st ranked team in the land, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Slapper, but one thing you've noticed is that Tobias does sometimes step out of the box a little bit too soon. There's a slap shot into left field and a leadoff single for Margaret Tobias. Good start for the Gophers. Doubles territory. 2-2 on the way to Kraft is launched into right center field. That had a lot of tail on it, and it's going to roll the wall. Kraft is digging for second. Nice throw back in by the center fielder, Kamensend, to prevent it from stretching any further, but a one-out double for Taylor Kraft.
And this is a great piece of hitting by the experience
for Nani Valencia. Here is the 3-1, is lifted towards right field. Hoffman goes back, it's over her head. Off the wall, one hops, nice throw back in. Blowing through the stop sign is Kraft, and she scores. The stop sign went up early for head coach Piper Ritter at third base, but Taylor Kraft runs right through it and scores without a problem. 1-0 Gophers.
Yeah, the reason the stop sign came up is because Piper Ritter over there at third base coach's box threw the hands up because Kraft had to wait to see if that ball was going to be caught, and it ultimately holds Valencia to a single. But Kraft experienced, she knows what she's doing on the field. She knew that throw was going to be tough with Hoffman trailing back and chasing it to the wall.
Back first, never coming in.
Yeah, it's tough with the wind blowing like this. You know that it's going to trail away from you.
Bouncing ball, Cope is able to glove it over to first, and they'll get the out there. So there is out number 2.
And Kamensend's pitch count up, and now driving it up here against Cope.
3-0 is high. Cope, allows the 4-pitch walk. Pretty large right now. Gotta imagine that's where they're aiming. This one is lofted into center field. Kamensend back on it and able to make the catch as she runs into the wall. The Gophers strand 2, but they do tack a run on the board. It's on 64 pitches. Back out there in the circle today. 1-1 on the way. Cusack lines this one into left field, but it is right at the left fielder, Cosgriff. An allowed first out for the Huskers.
Yeah, that was a line drive, and the wind also going to hold.
Opener of 2024 and was out for the year. 2-1. Ball squares to bunt. Schwartz there to pick it up over to first, and they will take care of Jordy Ball, score that one 1-3, and there are 2 outs. Minnesota, Cosgriff, Burnett, and Valencia left to right in the outfield. Chavez, Tobias, Easton, and Shard third to first on the infield, and Kraft is doing the catching. 3-0 is low for ball 4, and Hannah Kamensend is the first base runner for Nebraska today.
It's 2-time first team, Kansas All-State, 2-time interleague.
Bouncing ball over to first base. Chavez to Shard, and that will end the inning. Nebraska strands 1, can't score. We head to the get back in action here. Emerson Cope back in the circle. First pitch is lofted, and Lauren Kamensend will make the catch at second base. Some damage here. 2-1. Lifted into left field. That'll get down for a base hit. Williams played it on a hop. Gets it back in quickly, and it's a 1-out single for Cameron Shard. Come in and catch it on a line, but it would have been a little bit tough. Corners are pinched for the Huskers. Bunt gets laid down. Bland is there to pick it up real quick. And the out is recorded. Some incidental contact down at first base. Over having a chat with her in front of the Nebraska dugout. She also lays down a bunt. Bland is there, zips it over to first, and she is out. Minnesota thought differently, but 2 heads-up plays with her home run.
Yeah, it certainly was a line shot right off the bat. I'd love to see the metrics on that.
3-0 on the way is high for ball 4, and a 4-pitch walk for Casey Hoffman. Not the way that Schwartz wanted to start this one.
Yeah, on Friday, not too much of the small ball type play with the similar wind conditions. Now today it seems like both teams are laying down bunts.
Kamensend lines it to short and gets back is Hoffman. Kamensend gunned down Casey Hoffman at the plate. Yesterday, she had a stab in left field earlier in the series. Throw down a second, not in time. Hoffman is able to steal second. 254 on the season. Shows bunt, pulls back, lines it into center field. That one is going to get down. Hoffman had to make sure it got down. She's held at third, and the Huskers have runners on the corners with Schwartz back in the circle. Here comes the 3-0, and it's outside for ball 4. Close one there, but 3-2 on the way. Bouncing ball to second. Throw home. They'll get the force, and that's all they get. Easton with the heads-up play to get it to Taylor Kraft. They get the out to cool down a little bit from her blistering start. This one is lifted into right field. Coming over is Valencia and is able to make the catch to end the inning. The Huskers leave them loaded and waste a golden opportunity to get some runs on the board. We head to the third. Gophers lead 1-0. Pitch clock
Possibly a pitch clock. Payoff pitch. Lifted out towards right field as the wind blows this one over to Hoffman. Going back, it's over the wall. Taylor Kraft with a home run, and she extends the lead 2-0 for Minnesota.
That ball just kept carrying and carrying and carrying, and eventually it found its way into the jet stream. It looked like it might have been a pretty routine fly ball out there for Hoffman, and it just kept going and going until it found its way over the wall. And if you really want to put some slug into a ball here in this game, that's the place to do it.
Fourth home run given up by Alin.
Catch there by the camera.
2-2 the count. Off-speed pitch called strike 3. Caitlin Alinsky strikes her out. And that a one lined out to short. Kuzak can't handle it. It's through for a single.
Good piece right off the bat. Kuzak, 2 top arms from a season ago. Each of them had over 100 innings.
Off speed, called strike 3 again. Back-to-back strikeout. 2 strikeouts in the inning on that changeup. Werner goes down looking.
Reps. Which is all you can ask for.
1-2 popped up. Kamenzen tracking over, now gives way for Hoffman, who retires the side. A leadoff home run by Taylor Kraft extends the lead to 2-0. It's Minnesota 2 type thing. I don't even know how to describe it. This one sent foul down the third base line and able to be handled by Chavez. Jordy ball pops out for out number 1.
Park at the Park Day is coordinating the pen hanging on the nets.
2-2 on the ground over to short. Tobias flips over to first to Chard, and the ball is dropped. Kamenzen reaches, and there's one on. With the runner on. 0-1. Bouncer over to Chavez. Flips to second for 1. Double pump at second by Easton, unable to get the throw off. So fielder's choice retires the lead.
Able to keep the inning going.
So here's Casey Hoffman. First pitch over to Chavez again. Drops the ball on the liner. Throw over to first. Not in time. Ball is dropped. Gets all the way to the wall. Everybody moves up 60 feet. And there's 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs.
You were kind of hoping that Kamenzen would just be like, I'm swinging no matter what.
1-2. Over to first. Chard bobbles. Bobbles again. And the ball gets away. 1 run is home. A 4th error committed by Minnesota in the inning, and Nebraska's on the board.
My goodness. The mental blockade for Cameron Chard is just continuing to snowball as she bobbled that 2 or 3 times. There's 1, there's 2. And Kamenzen is able to get to first base, and gotta remember that Chard is only a freshman, and the moment getting a little bit too bright for her multiple times, and once again Minnesota could have been out of the inning now 3 times.
Kamenzen takes second, no throw. 3 errors in the inning.
The outfield is playing in just a little bit, about normal depth now.
1-2 liner up the middle. This will score at least 1. Rounding the bag is Kamenzen on the way. Play at the plate. She is safe. Ava Bredwell stands at second. And Nebraska has flipped the tables in their favor. It's 3-2.
Bradwell takes this one on the outside corner and rips it back up the middle. Doesn't try to do too much with it. On a pitch like that, you really want to try and take it to right field, but Bradwell is able to get
scored all 3 runs in this inning after giving up a leadoff home run to Taylor Kraft in the top. Liner back up the middle over the second base bag. Here comes Bradwell around third. The throw home, the play at the plate. Bradwell scores standing up, and Samantha Bland heads on to second. It's 4-2 Nebraska.
Another job well done as Souza's been leaving the ball over the plate far too much. And just a simple bouncer back up the middle there for Bland, able to take second on the throw. And this offense for the Huskers is finally starting to turn.
A pitching change here for Minnesota. Moves to the designated player spot. And of course, Hazik in for Souza. Liner over to second, unable to snag it. Over there is Easton, and Bella Bacon is safe. Sammy Bland held up at third, so runners on the corners with Kuzak lines one out to right field. Chasing it back is Valencia. She doesn't have it. It's off the wall. Bland scores. Here comes Bacon around home. Being thrown out at second is Kuzak. We'll see if the run scores. It does not. But one comes home. That's Sammy Bland. And Nebraska runs on 3 hits and 5 defensive errors by Minnesota. As the first pitch chopped. Sammy Bland has it. Throws over to first in time. Easton is retired. She's only seen 2 pitches today, and she has gotten out both times. Singled her first time. Now sends this one out towards the wall. Making the turnaround first is Chard. She's heading to second. The slide in, and she is safe. Making up for one of those 3 errors in the bottom of the previous inning. Runner at second, 1 down. Minnesota trying to get back in the lead as this one's bounced right to Sammy Bland. Looks back, Chard at second. The out is recorded. Chard takes off. Ball is dropped by Kuzak. So there's
today. We know what her reputation's like, having 2 times on the Big Ten list.
Payoff pitch comes home, lined out to Squire and left. She reaches up and makes the grab. And so despite the threat at third, Olinsky hangs a 0.
Innings, 18 trips to the circle thus far, but it's a very similar workload to what she had with the Oklahoma Sooners.
This one on the ground, over to short. Tobias handles it, throw over to first high, but able to hang onto the bag is Werner. And that's out number 1.
And just long enough.
Her first out recorded over there at first since coming in as Kamazin lines this one up the middle short. Easton gets over to field it, and the ball is dropped. Probably going to be scored an infield single as Nebraska nearly batted around. They sent 9 to the plate. Squire lifts this one into foul territory near the Huskers' dugout. Reaching over and grabbing it is Chavez, 1 step from the fence, and there's 2 down. Fourth, Kamazin and now Hoffman. Hosek's pitch. Chopped over to Werner at first. She handles it herself, takes it to the bag, and retires the side. Huskers strand 1 on base, but they still lead by 3. 5-2, Nebraska over Minnesota. You're watching on Big Ten Plus.
Good for Nebraska to get the rest of the arms in the game of Cope, Olinsky, and now McGee to finally get them some good quality experience on the 2025 campaign as next pitch is up there. Ball 4, leadoff walk for McGee.
Base runner on a walk, trying to really put the pressure on the Husker pitcher.
This will be pitch number 10 in the at-bat. McGee now to 14 pitches. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Throughout the ceremony on first pitch, it's just a great celebration of women's sports.
2-2 on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Kylie McGee with 2 straight strikes. Side. Still 0-2 on Werner. McGee rocks and fires. Bouncer to Bland. Gloves it on a hop. Over to first. In time to end the inning. Kylie McGee gives up the Gophers. 1 1/3 innings pitched. And just 2 hits allowed, no runs. Kamazin lines this one into right field. Got to get there quickly. And is able to beat out the throw. She worked that batting average up to 277. That's back up the middle, off second base and into center field. Kamazin keeps on running. She stops at third. And a stroke of luck for Nebraska. Live here this weekend for Nebraska. Bland to short. They get one there. Throw to first is not in time. It was awfully close. I wonder if Minnesota is going to want to take a look at it. But they do get the out at second, and the run does score. It's 6-2 Nebraska.
Really close play down there at first. Good heads-up base running by Kamendsen to come home. Knew the double.
Reached on a fielder's choice and also reached on an error. Grounds this one to Tobias. Tries to get it to second, and it's into right field. Bland will take third base. And the defense for Minnesota continues to unwind. That's their 6 runs. 6-2 is our score here. And Bacon is going to prance on down to second base. No throw from Taylor Kraft, the catcher.
I've kind of swing. That one had home run power, though.
That is lined into left field. That'll go for a hit. One run is in. That's Bland. Holding at third is Bacon. And Nebraska extends their lead. It's 7-2.
This is a great piece of hitting. She went opposite the last time. She was a little late. Sends this one right into left field on the ground. Able to bring home Bland, who was speedy, standing at third. Bacon unable to advance, but with only one out,
Nebraska definitely trying to play for this run rule here as they are inching closer. Ball hits this one back up the middle. Easton gloves it over to first. They retire ball. Bacon comes in to score. And the Huskers increase their lead. It's now 8-2.
Yeah, that's really the only play Minnesota had was to get Jordy Ball. She's going to, most likely, unless Nebraska gets another time around the order, going to end the day 0 for 4, which is very uncharacteristic.
We'll try again on the 3-2. Bouncing ball stays fair, and Werner will step on the base to end the inning. But not before the Huskers scratch 3 runs across and grow their lead further. We head to the top of the 6th. One on the way is high for ball 4, and Cosgriff with the leadoff walk. Very similar to what we saw last frame. And coming up is Tinley Easton.
Stadium in Minneapolis. Of course, the baseball team from Minnesota also plays a couple games in the stadium.
3-2. That was a bouncer. Bland can't get it cleanly. Throws over to first in time to get Easton. So good recovery there by Aries. And some of that also has to do with the fact that 8 teams are playing in Oklahoma City. Checks her swing. Did she go around? Yes, she did. Chard could not hold up, and it's a strikeout for McGee. 2 outs to Burnett. Here comes. Ground ball. Kuzak gloves it. Over to first in time to get Burnett, and that will end the inning.
Up in the Minnesota bullpen.
DiNardo lifts this one high in the air to left field, tailing, and it is caught by Cosgriff for the first out of the frame.
Yeah, on a normal day, that might have been opposite power.
Recorded 7 home runs 2 seasons ago at Arkansas. Did not play last year for the Razorbacks. 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Richardson climbs the ladder.
But it kind of turns into that like golf swing that you can sometimes get some good power off of. That's good eye by Kamendsen.
2-2, Kamendsen waves and misses at the off-speed pitch. And that's where she started her career and then transferred to Minnesota beginning in the 2023 season. Here comes the 3-1, bouncing ball back to the mound. McGee gloves it over to first, and they get the out there. 2-2 on the way is popped up. Bredwell's got a play, and she's got it for out number 2. They're finally able to grab one in foul territory.
Yeah,
lofted in the air. Kuzak is out there, and this one is over. Nebraska records an 8-2 win and gets the sweep over the Gophers.
A very impressive Big Ten opening weekend for Nebraska, scoring 8 runs in all 3 games, holding the Gophers to 3 runs over those 3, or 5 runs rather, over those 3 games. And it was an all-around effort for the Cornhuskers today. They pitched quite a few arms. They had 4 different arms out there. The Gophers also with 4 different arms, and really good start to conference play here.